What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything with today a look at the portable foldable lunch bag from a company called Pokeat. This was a Kickstarter project that I backed a few months ago and it was successfully funded and produced, and here we are with the end result. This is exactly what the name suggests. It's a foldable bag in which you can carry food around. We all know the standard solution to carry food with you is either loose in your bag or in some kind of Tupperware situation, which can be a bit bulky and a bit of a hassle with lids that open and close at will. This is an alternative to that in the form of an actual bag. You can see I got two colors here, the green and the blue. There's a bunch of colors available through the Kickstarter campaign, but I'm sure now also on their website. And I think we should just have a closer look and see what is what. I'll put the green one to the side so we can focus on the blue one. Now right there, what you saw is obviously the unrolling of it, which is one of the defining features. The fact that this doesn't take up any space once you're done. You can see that you can just, fold it up, leave the air out, and you have a tiny package that won't take up any room in your bag at all, which is quite nice, and that's actually one of the things that they see as a benefit. The thing itself, nylon, it is just a big bag, as you can see. Inside though there is another bag, a plastic lining, so you will. Obviously if you're going to put some kind of wet food in here, it is good to have sort of the plastic on the inside to make sure that it doesn't seep out here, because it's just nylon, so this will leak at some point, but with the plastic inside, no issues. What is an issue, however, I hope you can see that properly on camera, is that there's already quite a bit of discoloration going on here on the bottom. This was actually from putting carrots in one time, and obviously carrots do stain, but I was hoping that it would survive more than just once. So that is, some points off right away. It does do a good job though in keeping the outside of the bag dry. If you put grapes or apples or anything fruit related or something in here, no issues whatsoever in terms of containing the fluids inside. Putting this back in, let's focus on the top part. Here we have the closing mechanism, which you probably recognize from messenger style bags. This is just something you roll once or twice, and then it folds into itself and you can clip it like so. And there you have your closed bag. You can carry it around like this. You can see that they also included some kind of lanyard and even a carabiner, so you can also hook it to a backpack or anywhere else you want, really. It makes it easy to carry around. Opening up, just as easy as well, and you're good to go. And obviously you can roll this all the way down if you want, if you don't have a big sort of situation going on inside. Moving to the bottom of the bag, right here you see a little pouch with a very flimsy zipper that is bound to break at some point if you're not careful with it. And in here we find some foldable, or modular rather, utensils. Just, a handle, and in this case a spoon, for example, or we have a fork right here. So you always have your cutlery with you if you want to go and eat on the fly. A bit of an afterthought, and it feels, it's not sturdy, feels very cheap to be honest, but it's kind of nice, I suppose, to always have a fork or spoon with you. Obviously made out of plastic, so it's not going to pierce the bag. And in case of emergency, I think this will do. You could imagine also storing maybe like small cups of salad dressing or something down there, or maybe a napkin or anything you really want, as long as it fits the pocket, obviously. Like I said, a bit of an afterthought, but in some ways, I suppose, kind of nice. Now overall, the construction of the bag is quite nice. It feels, well made and solid. I haven't had any issues so far yet with loose threads or fringing or, the overall quality of the bag. So job well done there from Pokeat. You even get a little sandwich bag included. If you want to put your sandwich in here, obviously it's going to start flopping around and sort of disintegrate. But you can put your sandwich in here and then put it in the bag so it won't fall apart. Which is a nice thought, a nice sort of afterthought maybe as well. But I think it's quite nice that they include this. Now, then we come to the problems with this bag, because as fine as the construction and the production and the ideas of having something small and foldable with you might be, there are quite a few issues with this bag. The first is that it is a bag. So obviously there are going to be problems with crushing. Anything that you put in here, unless you're holding it in your hand, is gonna get crushed. That is just the way it is. It doesn't really matter if you put grapes, apples, a full salad, or some macaroni in here. It is gonna get crushed if you put it in something or on something, because there's no structural rigidity in this bag whatsoever. So you're gonna end up with some kind of mash of whatever you put in here. So that is a huge issue and requires a lot of sort of thinking about what you're putting in and what you're putting this bag into. Because, for example, if you're taking this to work, you're clearly gonna put this in maybe a messenger bag or a laptop bag. And even those bags, even if it's a hard shell bag, it's gonna move around, rummage around, and it's gonna damage whatever is in here. So that is something to seriously consider. Then there's the problem that when you're filling this bag, you can't really put it down because it falls over and it doesn't have a solid base. Even though it is shaped, as you can see, it stands up slightly, but you cannot put this on your counter or on your table in any way to make sure that the food goes in smoothly. So you always need one hand to keep this open, maybe even two, which you can't do. And then you have to either scoop your food in or slide it in, which is also a bit of a hassle, and it's just not convenient. The third issue is that there's no thermal insulation whatsoever, so it doesn't keep anything warm or cold. So leave something in here and it will end up at room temperature rather quickly, which is, not an issue if you have some sandwiches here that you just take to work. Fine, but if you put some salad in here, for example, or maybe some kind of leftover dish that is slightly warm, it just doesn't work because the heat will go away, any coldness in the food will go away instantly as well. So, you're gonna have to pour this out or then maybe microwave it, which just gets too complicated as well. And then last but not least, there is the sort of convenience that they claim that you have something small and foldable that doesn't take up any space, which obviously is true because this can fold and a Tupperware cannot. But don't forget that you'll be putting stuff in here, so it is gonna be full and big anyway. So if you fill this up and it's full with your food, it's still gonna take up a lot of space in your bag and you can't really put it anywhere else. So I don't really see the difference between taking this full with you or a similarly sized Tupperware full with you. The only difference is on the way back that you don't have the bulk and you can actually flatten this and fold it down, but that would imply that you always bring more stuff back home with you than you do going somewhere, which obviously is usually not the case. So I don't really see any benefit in this over a Tupperware in that sort of environment of space saving either. Now there are certain use cases where this does work. You can imagine, for example, going for a picnic in the park with your kids like me. You throw a bunch of grapes in here, a bunch of fruit, and it's just easy and convenient to take with you. You can even, when there's a bunch of stuff in here, you can roll it open slightly like this and sort of set it on the table that it's semi-supported by whatever is inside. That does somewhat work, but also not really, because then you still have the issues of potential crushing whatever is inside in your bag. And you can obviously imagine when you do put it up, as soon as the bag gets empty, the grapes get eaten, it's gonna fall over and tip over, so it doesn't work. All around though, it's a nice idea and it's a nice execution of the idea, but I think it is not very useful. I certainly haven't found any way that it really works, with sandwiches, with food, with salad, fruit or anything. It all is, I suppose, possible, but there is no real upside for me for using this over a Tupperware without any insulation, or even like a food thermos that has insulation. It doesn't add anything to the party. So yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it. It doesn't work in the real world, even though it is a nice idea. I haven't found any real use cases for it, even though I've tried pretty hard, but it's just too inconvenient from, putting the food in, to storing the food while you're on the way, to getting the food out again. It is just not convenient in any way. So I don't really see any reason to recommend this. But nice try anyway, and I think nice execution of the idea, like I said, just not applicable in the real world. This is Peter from Reviews on Anything with a look at the Pokeat Foldable Rollable Meal Bag. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, that always helps us out a lot, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers!